Key 1. Stoic discipline isn't about waiting for the perfect moment to take action. It's about stepping into discomfort and pushing yourself beyond your limits, no matter what life throws at you. The real test of your strength isn't when things are going smoothly. It's how you respond when everything falls apart. Picture this. You've planned your day down to the last detail, but suddenly, the universe has other plans. A meeting gets rescheduled, your routine is upended, and you're forced to adapt on the fly. Most people would panic, feel stressed, or complain. But not you. Why? Because you've trained yourself for this moment. You've built mental and physical resilience to handle these disruptions with clarity, control, and confidence. That's exactly what happened to me not too long ago. I was ready to head out for a run, but then, without warning, I was called to give an impromptu talk. Years ago, I would have lost my temper or spiraled into frustration. But today, Stoicism has taught me that frustration never helps. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You can have no opinion about this." Instead of wasting energy on blame or disappointment, I focused on what needed to be done. I delivered the talk, adjusted my plans, and kept moving forward. And it turned out great. The truth is, life will never unfold exactly as you expect. There will always be setbacks, unexpected delays, and obstacles you didn't see coming. The question isn't whether these things will happen. It's how you respond when they do. Will you crumble under pressure, or will you rise to the challenge? That's where true discipline comes into play. Not just when conditions are perfect, but in the chaos, when everything seems to be working against you. Take something as simple as a cold plunge. Why endure the discomfort? Because as Seneca taught, we must train our bodies to obey our minds. It's a reminder that discomfort is fleeting, and our limits are often self-imposed. The cold might sting, but your body can handle more than you think. Pushing through these discomforts builds the mental toughness needed to navigate life's bigger challenges. I put this philosophy to the test during a series of intense days. Back-to-back talks, cross-country flights, and a disrupted routine. No excuses. Despite the chaos, I carved out time to write, to train, and to push myself further. Then, on top of everything else, I flew to Vegas, delivered a talk, and faced an extreme physical challenge. A 7-mile run with 4,500 feet of elevation gain. All on little sleep. Why? Because this is what we train for. Life isn't just about physical endurance. It's about mental endurance, about staying on your path even when the world distracts you. It's about focusing on your craft, your purpose, and your mission, just like Iron Maiden has done for decades. Their motto? We plow our field, and we don't care what others are doing. This kind of discipline, the unwavering commitment to their art, is why they've built a lasting legacy. So ask yourself, are you focused on your own field, or are you getting sidetracked by distractions? Are you training for the challenges ahead, or will you be caught off guard when obstacles arise? Life will always introduce variables. The path will twist and turn. Plans will change. Conditions will never be perfect. But the disciplined person doesn't complain. They adapt, adjust, and keep pushing through, because that's what they've been training for all along. I saw this firsthand last week. On Monday, I flew to Denver, where I had a talk scheduled. Everything was in place until a scheduling mix-up meant I had to give the talk at the last minute. No time to prepare. In the past, I might have let frustration take over. But Stoicism reminds us that losing our temper only wastes energy and distracts us from the task at hand. As Marcus Aurelius says, you can have no opinion about this. I took a deep breath, delivered the talk, and moved on. The next day, my routine was disrupted again. No time to go to the office or get my usual writing done. Instead, I gave another talk and signed 500 copies of my book. I could have made excuses, but I didn't. I found the time to write, to make progress, no matter the chaos around me. This is what discipline looks like, the ability to show up, no matter the circumstances. It's about making progress, even when the conditions aren't ideal. Whether it's writing, training, or creating, you show up, do the work, and keep moving forward. Why do we push ourselves through challenges like cold plunges, grueling runs, or sleepless nights? Because it teaches us that our bodies and minds are capable of more than we think. It's about showing that we can handle whatever life throws at us. For me, this came to a head during a particularly tough period. After a series of demanding days, I flew to Las Vegas for a talk, only to face yet another obstacle. Death Valley's roads were closed. A simple trip became a 6-hour drive, adding more difficulty to the already challenging run ahead. The easy choice would have been to give up. But as the Stoics would say, this is exactly why we train, to prepare for moments like this. So, I pushed through, knowing that every challenge, every disruption, and every bit of discomfort is just another opportunity to prove to myself that I'm capable, that I'm resilient, and that I'm prepared. This is what discipline is all about. Doing the work, no matter how hard, and showing up even when it's tough. The road will never be perfect. The conditions will never align exactly as you want them. But the disciplined person doesn't wait for the perfect moment. They make the moment work. They don't complain. They adapt, they push forward, and they thrive. Because that's what they've trained for. Key 1. Stoic life has a funny way of unfolding, often in ways we never expected. It's as if the universe is quietly guiding us, sometimes gently, sometimes with a bit more force, towards things that we could never have predicted. And it's easy to get frustrated, to try and force everything to fit our plans. But here's the thing. When we resist the flow of life, it's like swimming against the current. It only makes things harder. The truth is, if we can learn to embrace what comes our way, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable, we might find that these moments shape us in ways we never imagined. There's a profound lesson in understanding that life's challenges, delays, setbacks, disruptions might not be roadblocks at all. Instead, they could be part of a bigger, grander plan, a design that we might not fully understand but that we can trust in. The Stoics called this larger guiding force the logos, a divine reason that shapes the universe. And when we trust that, when we let go of our need to control every outcome, we align ourselves with it. We move with life instead of fighting it. Take a moment where everything goes wrong, a delay when you're running late. It's easy to feel your patience fray, to get upset that things aren't unfolding as you expected. But the Stoic approach would be to pause, breathe, and ask, what if this is how it was meant to be? What if this delay is opening up something new? That's how the Stoics would see it. You don't know what's best in this moment, so trust that the universe has its reasons. I remember once, my family and I were on a cross-country road trip. We had a blowout tire in the middle of nowhere. What should have been a quick repair turned into hours of waiting. My kids, however, didn't see it as a disaster. They had no idea that we were behind schedule, no sense of urgency. They saw it as an adventure, a chance to explore, to make memories. They were going with the flow, accepting what was happening without rigid expectations. In Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, he compares life to a battle, a long journey away from home. He was speaking from personal experience, having spent much of his life on the front lines. But I think that metaphor works for all of us in a figurative sense. Life isn't just a battle, it's an adventure. There are challenges, obstacles, and detours, but they're all part of the journey. When a road closes, you don't curse it. You take the detour as part of the adventure. This stoic endurance, this ability to endure and adapt, is called forbearance. It's the art of holding on to what truly matters, even when life throws a curveball. I think about Cato standing firm against Julius Caesar, or Marcus Aurelius enduring plagues and wars. But for most of us, this endurance shows up in quieter ways. Pushing through a tough project, completing a grueling hike, or simply showing up when things are tough. Take, for example, my experience running up the grueling path to Cerro Gordo. The climb was brutal, and there were so many moments when I wanted to quit. My body was screaming for me to stop, but I pushed through. I kept putting one foot in front of the other, not focused on the end goal, but on just taking the next step. And that's the Stoic lesson. Focus on the small step you can take right now, not the distance you have left to go. This mindset isn't just about reaching a goal. It's about who you become in the process. Every challenge you face, every tough moment, is an opportunity to build resilience. It's about persevering with grace, showing up even when you feel like giving up. And that's something we can all practice one step at a time. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, remember, don't fight it. Embrace the adventure, adapt, and keep moving forward. Life's path might not always be smooth, but if you endure, you'll find that it takes you to places you never imagined, and you'll be stronger for it. Key one that's Stoic sometimes. It feels like life is a journey you're experiencing in real time, but not in the way the world sees it. The person you present to others is often different from the one you meet in the quiet, hidden corners of your soul. Behind closed doors, there's a part of you that's full of intensity, ambition, or quirks that you're afraid to let the world see. That hidden self, your shadow, often seems like an opponent pushing back at the very things you want to achieve. But what if embracing this shadow could lead to the most authentic and fulfilling version of you? Imagine this. When you're in the middle of a challenge, there's a moment when everything in you wants to stop. But if you just keep going step by step, even without knowing the outcome, you'll eventually reach your destination. This is what Courtney Dauwalter, one of the world's greatest ultramarathoners, describes as entering the pain cave. She visualizes herself in that cave with a hard hat and chisel, working through the discomfort. The key is curiosity. How far does the cave stretch? What's waiting beyond the pain? You keep chipping away, slowly, methodically, until you hit something unexpected, something profound. It reminds me of the process of digging in mines. As you tunnel deeper, sometimes you hit a stop, an open pocket of space. It's like you're suddenly in an entirely new world that you didn't even know existed. And that's the thing about perseverance. It's not always about brute force. It's about the quiet, relentless exploration. In those moments, you'll discover parts of yourself you never knew were there, and your perspective will shift. Think about it. When you push yourself to the edge, whether it's running a marathon, facing an obstacle, or simply persevering through tough times, there's an incredible sense of renewal waiting on the other side. I had one of those moments recently. After pushing myself to the limit, lack of sleep, food, and energy, everything in my body screamed to stop. But when I finally did, it was like waking up to a new life. The beauty of a fresh sunrise reminds you of how incredible the world can be, even when life feels like it's tearing you apart. This sense of discovery and transformation is exactly what Stoic philosophy teaches us. Life, in all its chaos and struggle, offers us opportunities to grow. You don't avoid pain by sitting back and doing nothing. In fact, you invite greater suffering when you refuse to face the challenges that would develop your skills and strength. It's about embracing the hard work now, so that later, the things that once felt impossible become second nature. For me, writing books and sharing these ideas isn't just about selling copies. It's about spreading a message that can change lives. But the hardest part? The moments I've spent away from my family. It's those moments of missing bedtime or not being there when my kids need me that remind me of what truly matters. Yet, it's through these challenges that I've found new purpose and strength. When you push through life's battles, whether it's the exhaustion of physical effort or the discomfort of deep introspection, you uncover a freedom that few experience. Stoicism teaches us to confront those parts of ourselves we try to ignore. By doing so, we create a life of authenticity and fulfillment. So, take that first step, keep moving forward, and see where it leads. You'll be amazed at what you find when you embrace the shadow within you.